Did you know that 90% of car issues aren't caused by mechanical failures, but by incorrect data in the car's brain? A check engine light, jerky shifting, or rough idling often doesn't require new parts or a $600 trip to the shop. Sometimes, a simple reset can make the problem disappear. It sounds too easy, but that's exactly why mechanics don't want you to know this. In this video, I'll show you simple, no-cost reset methods you can do yourself to make your car run like new. Like and subscribe to the channel if this video helps you. Why modern cars have issues. Most people assume that when a car acts up, something must be broken. But in reality, most problems come from the car's brain, its electronic control system. Today's cars are like mobile laptops, running on dozens of modules and sensors. If just one piece of data is wrong, the whole system can go haywire. For example, the ECU relies on inputs from the oxygen sensor, mass airflow sensor, and more to calculate fuel delivery. If a sensor sends outdated or incorrect data, the ECU trusts it anyway, causing shaking, poor fuel economy, or even a check engine light. This doesn't always mean the sensor is broken. Sometimes it's just stuck on old data. Another culprit is an unstable power supply. A weak battery, voltage drops, or replacing a battery without resetting can make modules remember incorrect data, leading to rough shifts or uneven idling. Many drivers take their car to a shop and get told they need a new sensor or transmission when a simple reset could have fixed it. Think of it like a frozen smartphone. You don't throw out your phone just because it's slow, you restart it. Modern cars are the same. Modules like the TCM, PCM, or BCM can get overwhelmed with bad data. A reset clears outdated information, letting the system relearn from current conditions. That's why annoying issues, from warning lights to slipping gears to glitchy AC, can vanish after a quick reset. The key point: most car problems today aren't mechanical, but are caused by faulty data. Knowing this, you can save hundreds or even thousands of dollars by resetting instead of rushing to replace parts unnecessarily. Specific ways to reset. 1. Battery disconnect reset. The idea is like rebooting a frozen laptop. Modern cars are giant computers with dozens of sensors and modules. When data gets corrupted or overloaded, the fastest way to clear it is to cut the power. Here's how to do it right. First, turn off the ignition completely, remove the key, or disable the start-stop button. Then, pop the hood and disconnect the negative battery terminal. Use insulated gloves and tools to avoid sparks. Once disconnected, press and hold the brake pedal for about 30 seconds. This sounds odd, but it drains residual power from capacitors and modules. Next, wait 10 to 15 minutes. Some experts suggest even longer to ensure all circuits are cold. Finally, reconnect the negative terminal, tighten it securely, and start the car. What happens after this reset? All old data, including fuel trims, shift logic, and idle settings, gets erased. The car gets a new brain, ready to relearn based on current conditions. A check engine light from a temporary glitch may disappear, shifts become smoother, and idle stabilizes. This is especially useful after replacing a battery, swapping a sensor, or when the car shows weird symptoms with no clear cause. The downside? You might lose personal settings like the clock, radio presets, or infotainment data. But compare that. A few minutes of resetting and re-entering your clock versus paying hundreds at a shop for the same process. It's well worth it. I once had a customer with a Toyota Camry whose transmission jerked after a battery replacement. They feared a $3,000 transmission repair, but a battery disconnect reset paired with an idle relearn made the car run like new. That's the power of this old but gold trick. If your car starts acting strange after maintenance or a battery change, try a negative terminal reset. It's simple and free and can sometimes work wonders. 2. Fuse pull reset. If a battery disconnect reset is like reinstalling the entire operating system, this trick is like restarting a single buggy app. It's precise, targeted, and especially useful when you want to refresh a specific module without losing all your car's personal settings. Every modern car has a fuse box, usually under the steering wheel, on the side of the dashboard, or in the engine bay. Inside are dozens of small fuses, each controlling a specific system: ECU, TCM, BCM, ABS, or even the radio and infotainment screen. When a module starts acting up, like jerky transmission shifts after an oil change, a frozen radio logo, or a glitchy backup camera, you don't need to reset the entire car. Just pull the right fuse, wait a few minutes, and plug it back in. That module resets as if it woke up from a nap. Here's how to do it safely. First, turn off the ignition completely to ensure the car is in the off state. Next, find the fuse box diagram in your owner's manual or on the fuse box cover. Identify the correct fuse for the module you need to reset, like the ECU, TCM, or radio. Use plastic pliers to pull the fuse out, then wait about 10 minutes to let the system discharge all residual power. Finally, plug the fuse back in, start the car, and watch for changes. A real-world example. Many Nissan and Infiniti models experience rough shifts after a transmission fluid change. Pulling the TCM fuse, waiting a few minutes, and reinstalling it helps the transmission relearn its new logic, making shifts smooth again. Or take a BMW with a frozen iDrive screen. Just pulling and replacing the infotainment fuse can save a trip to the dealer. The advantage of this method is that you don't lose personal settings like radio presets or the clock. It targets the exact problem area, making it fast and effective. But be cautious. Pulling the wrong fuse can temporarily cut power to another system, causing random error codes. So, study the diagram carefully or snap a photo of the fuse layout before starting. I once helped a customer with a Chevrolet Malibu. After a battery replacement, their ABS lights stayed on, making them think the brakes were faulty. In reality, pulling and reinstalling the ABS control module fuse turned the light off, and everything was fine. The shop had quoted a $400 sensor replacement. Sometimes the issue isn't a broken part, but a confused module. A fuse pull reset is a clean, free, and highly effective way to wake it up. Comment with the number 1 and like this video, and I'll reveal something even more shocking. 3. Pedal dance, throttle, and transmission relearn. This is a sequence of gas pedal actions that reteaches the ECU and TCM how to breathe and shift correctly. In modern cars, the throttle and automatic transmission are electronically controlled. Over time, learned driving data can go off track. A dirty throttle body, changes in fuel quality, or shifts in driving style can confuse the ECU, causing sluggish acceleration, rough shifts, or a less responsive car. The pedal dance is like a memory refresh therapy. Here's how to do it. Step 1. Turn the ignition to the on position. Dashboard lights on, but don't start the engine. Step 2. Count to 3 seconds. Step 3. Press and release the gas pedal 5 times in a row within 5 seconds. Step 4. Wait 7 seconds, then press and hold the gas pedal to the floor for about 15 seconds. At this point, the check engine light may flash. That's a sign the system is starting to reset. Step 5. Start the engine, let it idle, and don't touch the gas for 1 to 2 minutes. After this process, the ECU clears old fuel trim data, and the TCM refreshes its shift logic. The result? The accelerator responds faster, idling becomes steadier, and the transmission shifts smoothly instead of jerking. This method is especially effective for many Japanese and German cars like Nissan, Toyota, GM, and BMW. I recall a customer with a Nissan Altima whose CVT transmission whined during acceleration. The shop suggested a software update or even a new transmission, but a pedal dance, followed by a few laps around the block, made the car run smoothly, saving the customer thousands of dollars. The strength of the pedal dance is that it requires no tools, costs nothing, and just needs a bit of patience. However, you must follow the steps precisely. Wrong timing or missed presses mean the ECU won't register the command. A small tip: practice the counting and pedal presses with the car off before doing it for real. In short, the pedal dance is like resetting the heartbeat of your car. It won't fix every issue, but if your car feels sluggish, idles unevenly, or shifts harshly after maintenance, this is the first trick to try. It takes just a few minutes, and the results can make it feel like you're driving a brand new car. 4. OBD2 scanner. If the previous 3 reset methods are old school tricks, this is a modern tool worth just $20,030 on Amazon that can save you hundreds, even thousands in repair costs. Every car made in the US after 1996 has an OBD2 port. This magic gateway lets you read all the data and error codes stored in the ECU, TCM, ABS, or emission systems. Mechanics use it daily, but the truth is, you can do it yourself at home. It's simple. Plug the small device into the OBD2 port, usually found under the steering wheel near the driver's left foot. Connect it to your phone via Bluetooth, or use its built-in screen. Within seconds, you'll see all the diagnostic trouble codes, from oxygen sensor issues, fuel pressure problems, and spark plug misfires to transmission errors. More importantly, you can clear these codes, resetting the system to see if the issue returns. Often, the check engine light comes on due to a loose gas cap, poor quality fuel, or a sensor's temporary glitch. Instead of panicking and rushing to a dealer who quotes $400 for a new sensor, use an OBD2 scanner, clear the code, and drive for a few days. If the light stays off, you've saved a bundle. Beyond that, OBD2 scanners offer live data, real-time engine stats like RPM, temperature, fuel trim, turbo pressure, or intake airflow. This is invaluable for checking if the car runs smoothly post-reset. For example, if fuel trim returns to near 0% after a reset, your system is breathing healthy. I once helped a California customer with a Chevy Malibu. The check engine light was on, and a shop quoted $1,200 for a new catalytic converter. But an OBD2 scan showed only an oxygen sensor code. After a reset and a few days of driving, the light stayed off. It was just a stuck data glitch, not a real failure. The best part of an OBD2 scanner, it puts you in control. You know what's wrong? You decide if a shop visit is necessary, and you walk in armed with facts, avoiding scare tactics for unneeded repairs. A compact, affordable, easy-to-use OBD2 scanner is a must-have companion every driver should keep in their glove box. It transforms you from someone at the mercy of a check engine light to a proactive owner who knows when to reset, when to repair, and how to protect their wallet. 5. Nuclear option, full reset. This method requires a bit more patience. First, turn off the ignition and disconnect the negative battery terminal, like a standard battery reset. But instead of waiting 10-15 minutes, you also remove the fuses for key modules, the PCM and TCM. These are the brains of the engine and transmission. By disconnecting the battery and pulling these fuses, you drain all power from the system. Wait about 30 minutes, enough time for the system to forget old data from fuel trim and idle settings to shift logic. Then, reinstall the fuses, reconnect the battery, and start the car. Don't hit the road right away. Let the car idle for 5 minutes with the AC off, then 5 minutes with it on. This is called idle relearn, helping the ECU relearn baseline load conditions. Next, drive gently on flat roads, keeping RPMs low, giving the car time to relearn how to respond to throttle and shifting. For the first few dozen miles, the car might feel off. RPMs may fluctuate or shifts might be slow. Don't worry. This means the system is rebuilding its data. I saw a Hyundai Sonata stuck in limp mode, unable to rev past 2,500 RPM, with the owner facing a $4,000 transmission replacement quote from a dealer. After a full reset and idle relearn, the car returned to normal, running another 50,000 miles without issues. This proves many serious problems are just software glitches. The strength of the nuclear option is its wipe clean, start fresh approach. But there's a downside. You lose all personal settings, radio presets, clock, memory seats, and infotainment data. So, use this as a last resort when lighter resets fail. The full reset isn't for every situation, but when your car is stubbornly misbehaving, it's the ultimate rescue button. It can save you from $1,000 repair bills, and sometimes a well-timed reset makes your car feel reborn. If this information is helpful, please comment with the number 2 to let me know. 6. System-specific basic resets. If battery disconnect and the nuclear option are heavy artillery, these small resets are like a pocket screwdriver, quick, precise, and perfect for tackling common annoying issues. The funny thing? Most drivers get frustrated with these problems, but don't realize a few simple steps can fix them. No trip to the shop needed. TPMS, reset. After inflating all 4 tires to the correct pressure, turn the ignition to on, then press and hold the TPMS button until the light flashes 3 times. Drive a few miles and the system relearns. Many people pay tire shops to do this when it's just a button press. HVAC reset. If your AC vents blow hot and cold inconsistently or won't switch directions, the blend door motor might be confused. Turn the ignition to on, then press and hold the recirculation and rear defrost buttons together for 10 seconds. The HVAC module recalibrates, restoring proper vent function. Steering angle sensor reset. After a battery replacement or steering repair, the wheel might feel off or an ESP warning appears. Fix it by starting the engine, turning the steering wheel fully left, then fully right, then centering it, and driving straight for a few hundred yards. The sensor recalibrates itself. Transmission adaptive memory. Reset. Turn the ignition to on, press the gas pedal fully for 10 seconds, then turn off the ignition while holding the pedal for a few more seconds. Release, wait 2 minutes, then start the car. This clears old driving data, making shifts smoother. Infotainment reset. If the screen freezes, Bluetooth fails, or the GPS is off, go to Settings, System, Factory Reset. Most software glitches vanish. Bonus trick. Auto window. Reset. If windows lose their one-touch function after a battery change, lower the window fully. Hold the switch for 5 seconds, then raise it fully and hold for 5 more seconds. Repeat 1-2 times, and the system relearns its stops. These resets are small but powerful. They don't wipe all data, target specific issues, and are fast and free. I once helped a Honda CR-V owner whose TPMS light stayed on after a battery swap. She thought she needed new sensors. A 10-second button hold turned it off, saving nearly $200. Modern cars don't just need gas and oil, they need a reboot for specific systems. Knowing these tricks means no more stress over random warning lights, and more importantly, you stay in control, avoiding shops scaring you into unnecessary repairs. 7. Window auto up reset. Have you ever replaced your car's battery or had a power loss, only to find the windows no longer work with one touch? You press the button, but the window stops halfway or goes up, then drops, as if something's pulling it back. It seems minor, but if you've driven in freezing winters or scorching summers, you know how frustrating it is to hold the button every second. Many assume the motor or switch is broken and head to a shop, spending hundreds on a fix that takes just minutes. The culprit? The window control module loses its position data after a power interruption. It no longer knows the fully closed or open points, so it reverses to protect itself, thinking there's an obstruction. The solution? A simple reset most drivers overlook. Step 1. Turn the ignition to on. Step 2. Lower the window fully, holding the switch for 5 seconds. Step 3. Raise the window fully, holding the switch for 5 more seconds. Step 4. Test the auto up, auto down function. If it's not right, repeat 1-2 times. These steps let the module relearn the window's endpoints. I met a Ford Escape owner who was panicked because the driver's window wouldn't go up. He thought the motor was shot, bracing for a $400 bill. We followed this process, which took less than 2 minutes, and the window worked perfectly. His face showed relief and a bit of embarrassment for nearly throwing money out the window literally. Most modern cars, from Toyota, Honda, Ford, and GM to BMW and Mercedes, have a similar auto-up reset with slight variations in hold time. Some require doing it for each door. That's why, after a battery change, one window might work while others act up. A key point: this reset doesn't fix hardware issues. If the window makes grinding noises, moves slowly, or is mechanically stuck, that's another story. But in 90% of post-battery or power loss cases, this is the magic cure. So, next time your windows misbehave, don't rush to the dealer. Try the auto-up reset at home. A few seconds of patience can save hundreds and give you the confidence of mastering your car, instead of letting small glitches turn into a wallet nightmare. Modern cars act like computers, sometimes just glitching rather than breaking. From battery disconnects, fuse pulls, pedal dances, and OBD2 scans to full resets, system-specific resets, or window auto-up fixes. These clear old data let the car relearn and save hundreds in repairs. Knowing when to reset makes you proactive. No panic over check engine lights, no wasted money, and a car that runs smoother and lasts longer.